Oh, yeah.
I'd like to bring the meeting to order. This is the Clinton City Board of Public Works and Safety. It's a regular session, Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Roll call, please.
Jack Guilfoyle,
Yes.
Scott Miller,
Here.
Bob Alexander.
Here.
You guys have any questions on the minutes of the past meeting?
I do not. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes, past meeting.
I'll second that.
We've got a first and second to accept the minutes as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Jack Guilfoyle,
Yes.
Scott Miller,
Yes.
Bob Alexander.
Yes.
At this time, do we have any comments from the citizens? If not, then do any of the board members have any comments at this time?
We need to set up hours for Halloween, I think, correct? So,
Yes.
in the past, I think we've just done the 31st, the actual Halloween night. And so it'd be, what, Halloween night 5 to 9? You agree with that, Bob?
Yes, with
Okay.
the big support, so far we're having a pretty good turnout. That'll be showing up Saturday for the 9th Street trick-or-treating deals, trunk-or-treat, trick-or-treat, still get candy. And then we'll celebrate the actual holiday, 5 to 9. No weather backups, no nothing of that nature. 5 to 9 is what it is. That's the holiday, October 31st.
Yeah, because I think they have over 40 vendors signed up for
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Yeah, so that gives,
Everybody an opportunity.
Yeah.
To, kids can go out trick-or-treating on 9th Street, and then people can stay home, pass out candy, or vice versa, or you can get 2 nights out of the deal. So I think that's plenty. Make a motion to have the Halloween trick-or-treating on October 31st, 5 to 9, not to be confused with this Saturday's trunk-or-treat.
I'll second that.
Okay, I've got a first and second on Halloween. It'll be on the 31st of October from 5 to 9 p.m. Roll call vote, please.
Jack Guilfoyle,
Yes.
Scott Miller,
Yes.
Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Claims. You guys have any questions on the claims?
It doesn't. That doesn't show everything. I'm just kind of lost on that.
Let's see. Is this just water?
No,
No, it's everything.
It's everything. Is the department, was the department heads able to get together and sign this?
I don't have them sign it because we changed it to where you all just sign.
Well, they have to sign their claims. There's the blue and the pink, the vouchers. Actually, it'll be the PO be here. The billing statement will be here. Me and Scott come in on Mondays and we'll review it after the department heads. Am I correct? Department heads? You all sign those. So that tells us when we sign those that they have seen their purchase orders, and those purchase orders are correct to the amount that they got, which would be on the purchase order. But you all have not seen those or signed any
I've
of
seen
them.
a few of them.
But you didn't see them all.
He saw all of his.
Okay, yeah.
Never seen none of mine. Any of my
Billing?
orders.
No.
I just got, she gave me the form, the fire job.
You had some big ones. Axon was out of there. I've seen that. So there's some big purchases that was done. That's why I wanted to see approval. That's how everything's supposed to be done, because of the big purchases that came out of the general fund. Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not disputing that purchase. I just want to make sure you guys are good with what's been taken out or what you want us to prove to be taken out correctly. And just like last month, I gave you an example. The reason we do this is Patty would have those claims sitting there. Me and Scott would come in and we'd look at these POs, and then we'd look to where they're being paid out of. And sometimes something that should be coming out of the general fund actually was coming out of, say, the water funds. So then I would leave a note, Patty would go in and correct that, and make sure it's coming out of the appropriate account. That's why it's very important for us to be ready to approve the claims, and I really don't feel comfortable, I don't know what
No.
your direction is, without any signatures saying, because Billy does have some body cams, which we have authorized, but I don't know what the amounts. It's for Maxon, you're familiar with that?
Yep.
And then Cindy has 13,200 out of hers. I wanna make sure that's correct.
That is on here. These
Yeah.
are just our POs.
No, that's what I'm saying. Stating is, what we got, what you have right here doesn't match up with all the expenditures that we have. I know contracts won't be on here, but everything else should be. So, at this time, I mean, I don't mind, if something immediately needs to be paid, you department heads contact the clerk treasurer, say, hey, I've got a bill, and they didn't prove it because we hadn't looked at it. I don't mind having a special meeting to come back in, as long as Scott's in agreement, to get those claims. So I just don't want to vote on those claims until you're all satisfied and have signed the vouchers that are required to be signed.
I have a large claim for best equipment for $4,600 and some dollars. It was for the service of the back truck.
Yeah,
I
that's,
have got 2 nasty emails from them.
yeah, and so you got
Mhm.
stuff on here that doesn't reflect. So at this time, I make a motion to table the claims until the department heads have actually signed off on the vouchers, and we receive contact from the clerk treasurer, so that they have signed off their claims, and we're ready to approve the claims.
I'll second that motion.
We got first and second to allow the department heads to get with the clerk treasurer and get these issues straightened out here on paying these bills. And if they have something that needs paid quickly, if you would get with her tomorrow so we can get those paid, especially that one you were just talking about with Beth.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Can I ask a question,
Yes.
please?
Sure.
You're telling me about the claims. Patty had just told me today, anything that is water or sewer, I'm to put in Scott or Cindy's box first, because they know whether it's been paid or it needs to be paid, and then they'll let me know. So do you want me to still do that too?
I really honestly, like us, we don't make ordinances and just ignore the ordinance. The ordinance states on every Friday, department heads will meet with the clerk treasurer to ensure the claims are looked at, signed, and done. That is in the ordinance. I'm not gonna dispute an ordinance, it's there. I'm not gonna go against that ordinance. What I'm saying is, if that has not taken place, then technically, State Board of Accounts looks and goes, okay, what is, and we've been looked at on that who's doing the approval, watching, and secondhand look at the claims. That was written on our last exit. And we show them that, we always reference the ordinance on Fridays that the department heads meet with the clerk treasurer to go over the financial claims. So if that did not happen, then that's where we're at. That's my recommended to fix it going forward. That's why the ordinance was put in by the council previous administrations, was so that the checks and balances were being done with the individuals that are making the purchase orders, and maybe a contract got paid out of the wrong department. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but I'm still looking for some reasons why there's a negative, a substantial negative. And I can't find that until the department heads look at it and they can tell me. We don't go from 49 plus to negative 49. I don't like to air out what's going on, because it looks like, do we have control? Yes, we have control. Do we have money? Yes, we got a lot of money. However, there's some discrepancies I can see right off the bat that throws a red flag of, did it get paid in the right department or not? That's what I always say, because that's a keyboard issue. It happens, that's okay. Mistakes happen, you find that, and either correct it and put the money back to that account and take it out of the appropriate account. That's all I'm asking. For my part, what I've seen so far in the claims. I'm not disputing theirs because they haven't seen them, and I haven't seen them. Every Monday we're in here to look at those claims the day before the council meeting, so that we can sit down with you if we have any issues, and we can resolve these so that we can get these claims paid and moved on to paid to the vendor, and we can move on, and we know where our balances are. That's the only comment we have.
That's what I want. So, okay,
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
roll call vote on
Jack Elfoy,
that. Yes.
Scott Miller,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Okay, on old business, we've got some bids on the surplus equipment. Okay, I think there's 2 here on the power washer, and there's 3 on the truck. I'll give you the power washer, I'll give you the truck.
Did we put any kind of, is it just a best offer?
I think that you had a,
Did you have a minimum price, Cindy? or-
Yeah, the truck was at, started at 2,000.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we set a
And I
minimum.
thought the power washer was either 2 or 500, one or the other.
Okay. Well, I'll start opening these truck bids.
We'll do it in order so you can keep track.
So first bid for the utility truck is from James Herzog, and his bid is for $3,625.25. James Herzog. $3,625.25.
Can you tell me how to spell that, please?
Yeah, it's
His last name.
James is spelled like James, and Herzog's Herzog.
Thank you.
He's got his phone numbers, everything included, so we can contact him. Thomas Burns is our second bid on the utility truck, and it's for $800. Thomas Burns, $800.
Motion to set the highest bid.
What's that?
You want that? Go ahead.
I've got one more.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and our last bid on the truck is from Toby Archer. Bid in the amount of $3,333.33.
what was it, Scott?
Easy to remember. 33, 33, 33.
Oh,
Toby Archer. Toby spelled T-O-B-E-Y.
Oh, E1, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So 33, 33, and 33. Okay. And so, you fine with that, Cindy? Okay, so we'll make a motion to accept the highest bid, which was from James Herzog in the amount of $3,625.25. And all his contact information is
I'll give him a
on the
call.
card.
I'll second that.
Got a first and second to accept the bid for the utility truck at $3,625.25 to James Herzog. Roll call vote, please.
Jack Elfoy,
Yes.
Scott Miller,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Next, I'll be opening the bids for the power washer, which power washer is on a utility trailer, correct? And so those will be the bids I'll be opening. We have 2. The first bid comes in from Clay Mack. His bid is $695 for the power washer. Clay Mack, $695. The second and last bid for the power washer is from David Cotton, Cotten. And his bid is at $605. Again, 605. No other bids? Cindy, are you acceptable with?
$695.
Make a motion to award the highest bid for the power washer, which is from Clay Mack,
$695.
$695.
I'll second that.
Got a first and second to accept the bid from Clay Mack for the power washer at $695. Roll call vote, please.
Jack Gilfoy,
Yes.
Scott Miller.
Yes.
And Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Yep. Under new business, I did not have anything when I made the agenda up on Thursday, but we do have a resolution that we need to pass this evening. It's concerning the pilot payment in lieu of taxes. So if you guys would allow me to add that, make a motion to allow me to add that to tonight's meeting, I will go ahead and do that.
I'll make a motion to add the pilot resolution to the agenda.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second to allow me to present the board with the resolution 2024-5 concerning payment in lieu of taxes. Roll call vote, please.
Jack Gilfoy,
Yes.
Scott Miller,
Yeah.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
That's gone.
Okay, resolution 2024-5, authorizing payment in lieu of taxes, known as pilot. Whereas Indiana Code Section 8-1, period 5-3, 8G authorized the municipal legislative body to elect to charge municipal-owned utilities an amount sufficient to compensate the municipality for taxes that would be due the municipality on utility property if the utility were privately owned. Whereas the city's financial consultants, Baker Tilly, have conducted a study to determine the appropriate amount to charge the city's water and wastewater utilities for the payment in lieu of taxes. Whereas the city now desires to establish and approve a pilot the year 2025 at an amount 4% higher than in 2024, and with said amounts to be transferred on a monthly basis as set forth herein. Be it therefore resolved as follows. What a payment in lieu of taxes shall be made to the City of Clinton on behalf of the City of Clinton, water and wastewater utilities for the year 2025 in the following monthly amounts. 2024 water full year total amount $66,487.32. And that would be monthly, January through December of 2025, the amount of $5,540.61. And then for the 2024 sewer full year, the total amount is $91,804.54, or monthly, January through December of 2025, $7,650.38. That is dated for today, October 22nd, 2024. So I need a motion to accept that. I'll make a motion to accept the resolution 2024-5.
I'll second it.
I've got first and second to accept resolution 2024-5 concerning the pilot Board of Works to the Common Council. Roll call vote, please.
Jack Gilfoy,
Yes.
Scott Miller,
Yes.
Bob Alexander.
Yes.
And if you would, Nancy, make a copy from you tomorrow and put it in this box. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I don't think I have anything else. Do you, gentlemen?
Nope.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have something.
Oh, that's Billy needs to address it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you just noticed. I just want to make it known that I had 2 officers resign. One has resigned effective on the 20th, and one is effective the 25th. It's sad to see them go. They went to another agency for more money.
Sure.
I know I talked to Jack a little bit about also to outfit a brand new officer for the vests, uniforms, physicals, and now the police academy. We have to pay for them to the police academy. We're looking at about $6,000 per officer. So I don't know if we can look at maybe in public safety, creating a line item in there for funding to help offset this, to pay for all this, once we get new officers hired in, because that's gonna hit our budget pretty hard. I know the sheriff's department, the Main County Sheriff's Department is hiring one also. We have 2 guys applied for that also. I don't know if we'll lose one or not, but it's a possibility. So that puts down 3 again. So I'm just trying to find ways to help offset me in the long run of not getting $18,000 out of the budget that is already tight enough.
Well, I hope the council would look at that. Scott, he kind of helps get this budget done. That's possible, isn't it, Scott? If Billy said it's 6,000, and to add a third.
It's too late to add it for this, for what's coming up, but we could do an additional appropriation.
Additional appropriations
Next year
at the end.
to cover that, or this year, whatever, these guys get hired on. It'd
Okay,
be
so,
very easy to do.
So we are planning on trying to opening up a process next Monday, put it out there to start taking apps, and probably work about a month. See if we get anybody or if we get any qualified people to do the hiring process, and we'll keep you guys in the loop of what we get, and as we lose through that, we do. But I just want to put out there that we did lose 2 to another agency, and then possibly a 3rd one if it happens. So
Chief, I was looking through, and I know it's just mending some things to get it done. But if you got 2 and a possible 3, what I've been reading up on, I don't know if you ever heard of the police technician. What they call that is somebody who will man the desk, dispatching type. They also are probationary. It enables to have one knowing that he's in a probationary status, and that we have to look how long we can keep him there before we have to send him to the academy.
1 year.
If we technically list him as a police technician, then that will excuse that. If we put him as a probationary officer, it's the problem you run into. So if you would, research police technician, it's listed under the ILEA, because if folks haven't been really aware of this situation they're going. I bet there's 26 agencies hiring within the state of Indiana. That's the site on ILEA. Indiana Local Law Enforcement Academy is huge, and they're surprised. It's just not one, it's like 4 here, 3 here. So the residents need to be aware of the situation all the way around throughout the state. And so that's one thing I stumbled across was this, it's a title that you would bring this officer on. So we hired two, but we have a good board. Now we got this third one, but we still don't know where the officers, we can look at moving him over to the second part of the dispatching, but we'd have to make that, drop a dispatcher, keep one, drop out, put your police technician there. Of course, the salary's a little higher under that, and then you can maintain them until you're ready to move him into street probationary way. He's hired in. It's mainly classified for the situation of you got a probation officer, you're filling the pool, you got a good guy, you might have two vacancies, you know you may have one that comes up, then you swing him in there and say he's on this time next year, he's he's still a police technician in the dispatching, and he does all the reports. He can do a lot of things underneath. But if you look up the definition under the ILEA, it's police technician. And I was really, I've never had seen that before, so I was like, ding ding, that's might be a direction to go. So keep the third one in the loop.
You guys don't have anything else? I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn again.
Okay. Second. Council meeting will start in 10 minutes.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nancy, roll call, please.
J.T. Walker,
Here.
Chuck Pokeroni,
Here.
and Bob Alexander.
Here.
You guys have any questions on the minutes of the past meeting?
And just on the last page, under new business, on the first reading of the 2025 budget, there was a motion by Chuck and a second by me to pass that. It's not listed on here.
You're talking which, J.T.? I'm sorry.
Down under new business, on the second page,
Oh, yeah.
there was a motion by Chuck. I second it, and it passed 4-0. Other than that, everything looks okay.
So Chuck first and you second?
Uh,
Okay.
So with those corrections, I'll make a motion that we pass the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, first and second, I need to notice that. After you amend the issue, pass the minutes as presented. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes?
Chuck Pokeroni,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Okay, does anyone in the citizens have any comments at this time? If not, does the council have any comments? Okay. Yeah, I don't have any. You guys have been given the financial reports?
I received mine.
I'll make a motion that we have received financial reports.
I'll second.
Got a first and second that the council has received financial reports from the clerk. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Pepperoni,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Under old business, we have the second read of the 2025 budget. Bob, do you want to read that?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Notice hereby given to the taxpayers of Clinton City Civil, Vermillion County, Indiana, that the proper officers of the Clinton City Civil City will conduct a public hearing on 2025 budget. Following this meeting, and 10 or more taxpayers may object.
This is, go ahead.
You got the wrong, you got the notice box of the public hearing next to
Yeah.
it. It looks very similar.
Oh, okay. You said that was my bust.
It'd be 2024-1
Yeah.
ordinance number.
Ordinance 10/2024-1, be it ordained or resolved by the Clinton City Council that for the expenses of Clinton City Civil City for the year ending December 31st, 2025, the sums herein specified are hereby appropriated and ordered set apart out of the several funds herein named and for the purposes herein specified, subject to the laws governing the same. Such sums herein appropriated shall be held to include all expenditures authorized to be made during the year, unless otherwise expressly stipulated and provided for by law. In addition, for the purpose of raising revenue to meet the necessary expenses of Clinton Civil City, the property tax levies and property tax rates as herein specified are included herein. Budget Form 4B for all funds must be completed and submitted in the manner described by the Department of Local Government Finance. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval by the Clinton City Council. Names of the adopting entity and physical body will be the Clinton City Council. The type of adopting entity and physical body is the Common Council and Mayor. And the date of adoption will be today, 10/22/2024. Okay. Fund Code 0101 General. Adopted budget is $1,397,805. Adopted tax levy is $1,060,000. Adopted tax rate 1.2471. Fund Code 0180 Debt Service. Your adopted budget is $49,251. Your adopted tax levy would be $51,000. And adopted tax rate will be a 0.0600. 0341, the fire pension. Adopted budget, 0. Adopted tax levy, 0. Tax rate, 0. 0342 is police pension. 33,000 is adopted. Adopted tax levy is 0. Adopted tax rate is 0. 0706 local road and street. Adopted budget of $35,000. Adopted tax levy is 0. The adopted tax rate is 0. 0708 motor vehicle highway. Adopted budget is $351,028. Adopted tax levy is $40,000, and the adopted tax rate is 0.0471. Fund Code 1191, cumulative fire special. Adopted budget $15,500. Adopted tax levy $10,000. Adopted tax rate is 0.0100. Under the Fund Code 1303, which is Parks, your adopted budget is set at $77,520. Your adopted tax levy is $75,000. Your adopted tax rate is .0882. Under the Fund Code of 2120 Cemetery, your adopted budget is $198,145. Your adopted tax levy is $125,022. Your adopted tax rate is .1471. Fund Code 2379, Cumulative Capital Improvement, parentheses will be your cigarette tax. Adopted budget, $15,600. Your adopted tax levy is 0, and your adopted tax rate is 0. Fund Code 2391, Cumulative Capital Development. Our adopted budget would be $10,000. Our adopted tax levy is $14,164, and the tax rate is .0141. Your total overall adopted budget would be $2,182,849, with the overall adopted tax levy $1,375,186. Your adopted tax rate 1.6136. The home rule funds, which are not reviewed by the Department of Local Government Finance. Fund Code 9500, which is your public safety lit. It's $372,420 for the budget. 9501 fund code is the American Rescue Plan at $350,000. 9502 is your opioid unrestricted at $6,500. 9503 is opioid restricted at $13,000, with a total overall for home rule funds $741,920. This is the second read.
Now, I think this year we got hit with a little over $400,000 in property tax caps. 2025 is going to be about 470,000, maybe a little bit more.
Additional. Or total?
Total.
Okay.
Well,
Well, it's only going up 70,000.
Yeah.
It grows faster than our levy growth.
Yes.
I wish the state would put the cap at the inflation rate adder to that, so it would,
They capped the levy increase at 4%.
Yeah.
But
So we had the hearing, and then we've
First read.
opened up and closed it, had the first read, we'll do the second read, and I make a motion to pass the ordinance resolution for appropriation and tax rates, ordinance 10-2024-1.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second to pass the resolution, ordinance or resolution 10-2024-1, the budget for 2025 for the city of Clinton. Roll call vote, please.
Stacy Walker,
Yes?
and Chuck Harper-Ennis,
yes,
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
that's all we get, that's all we got.
Under old business, we do have a second read on, I'm sorry, under new business, we do have a salary ordinance, but also, I've got 4 ordinances here under new business. So I'll tell you guys what each one of them is, and I'll ask your permission to go ahead and do these this evening, because they have to be done now in October. There'll be ordinance 10-2024-2, fixing compensation for employees for the year 2025. There'll also be an ordinance fixing compensation of elected officials in 2025. It will be 10-2024-3. there'll be an ordinance amending stormwater user fees and sewer rates. It'll be 10/2024-4. And then we also have a resolution where you guys will accept the payment in lieu of taxes that the Board of Works passed in the earlier meeting. So if you guys would allow me to add those to tonight's agenda so we can get those finished.
Need a motion on that? Make a motion, the mayor can add that to the agenda.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second to allow me to add those previous ordinances that I just stated to the agenda this evening. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Harkemani,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Okay, the first one we've got here then is the ordinance 10/2024-2, will be fixing compensation for employees for the year. You want to read that one? JT?
Yeah. Ordinance 10-2024-2, fixing compensation for employees for the year 2025. Be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Clinton, Indiana, that beginning January 1st, 2025, the salaries and pay schedule of certain employees of the City of Clinton shall be fixed as follows. The city workforce, superintendent of water, parks, cemeteries, and streets, $67,401.58. Sanitary sewer and stormwater superintendent, $60,795. Environmental specialist, $24.44. Sewer labor, class 1 or class 2 operator license, $20.64. Sewer labor, class 3 operator, $21.71. Licensed operator stepping, $10,908.76. Sewer department laborers, 16.16 to 17.31 cents. Street, water, parks, and cemetery laborers, 16.16 to 17.31 cents. Safety nuisance zoning not to exceed 24 hours per week, $16.97. Utility office manager, $22.54. Utility clerk, $16.97. Court clerk, $16.97. Mayor's administrative assistant, $18.04. Part-time deputy clerk treasurer, $11.14. Other part-time or seasonal, $10.65. Labor shall also be paid an amount equal to 4 hours for any week they are on call. Police department, the chief, $63,874.78 cents. Shift commander, $22.25 cents. Patrolman first class with 10 years, $20.41 cents. Patrolman first class with less than 10 years, $19.22 cents. Patrolman probationary, $16.72 cents. Dispatcher senior, $17.49, and dispatcher junior, $13.75. Canine stipend for officer housing of police canine, $200.19. The fire department, fire chief is $67,401.58. Fireman first class engineer, $41,962.33. Mechanic, $41,962.33. Probationary, $36,488.70. Extra shift holiday is $13.87 cents. Level 1 certified firefighter, $10.87. Level 1 plus certified EMR, $11.47. And level 3, level 2 plus certified EMTB, $12.07. Level 4, level 2 plus completed driver operator course, $12.68. Level 5, level 3 plus completed driver operator course, $13.28. Level 1, 2, and 3 only to work in the capacity as second person on shift or special detail. Level 4 and Level 5 are able to work in the capacity of a full-time employee. The salaries or wages of the following positions shall be divided equally among the general fund, sewer, utility, and water utility, safety, nuisance, and zoning, mayor, administrative assistant. The salaries or wages of the following positions shall be divided equally among the sewer utility and water utility, environmental specialist, utility office manager, utility clerk. The salary of the superintendent of water, parks, cemeteries, and streets shall be 2/3 out of the water utility, with the remaining 1/3 divided equally between street, cemetery, and parks. The retainer of the city attorney shall be the sum of $12,028.68 per year, divided equally among the general fund and the sewer department and the water department. Said sum may be paid to the city attorney's law firm. The salary for the members of the Board of Public Works and Safety shall be the sum of $1,490.80 per year, divided equally among general fund, the sewer department, and water department. The salary for the greenskeeper at Matthews Park Golf Course shall be the sum of $39,028.36. In addition to the amounts above, appointed officers and city employees shall be eligible for additional compensation, longevity pay, based upon their consecutive years of service with the city as of January 1st, 2025, upon the following scale. At least 5 years of service equals an additional 1.5%. At least 10 years of service equals an additional 2%. At least 15 years of service equals an additional 2.5%. At least 20 years of service equals an additional 3%. For employees with over 20 years of service, the employee shall receive an additional 5% for each year over the 20 years of service, but not to exceed an additional 2.5%. This ordinance shall take full force and effect on January 1st, 2025. Any ordinances or parts of this ordinance in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Passed and adopted on the first reading after unanimous consent to suspend the rates on this 22nd day of October 2024.
Do you? I'll make a motion, we accept the salary ordinance. I wanted to make sure he said it was all right.
Well, I think there's one spot we're gonna have to come back and fix it, stock and pay, and I think we're under on one spot, but it's right.
We can do a
Amendment.
additional appropriation
We're
or
doing
change,
amendment.
or just a
Amendment.
change amendment,
Yeah.
okay.
At both, we moved this meeting because we knew we were gonna be gone last week, but being gone last week wasn't conducive to getting numbers finalized, so.
Yeah, also with that comment is, we can amend, and some of the things and challenges, and I brought it up in the Board of Public Works, is overall, all departments, fire is pretty stable, as I would say. Labor force not, and the police department, obviously. Police department, it's pretty much every city in town. There's some salaries way up there, and I don't understand why they're having hard times filling them. At the same time, the salaries that are lower, like in the city of Clinton, is the same all the way across. But I would like to see maybe Cindy, I go back and say to myself, what was working and what wasn't? What did we get? For the labor, a line item can be added if you're looking for more of a skill with the labor foreman. That takes the heavy load off of Cindy finding the right person, if she was able to find the right person. So we could, this is just recommendations and thoughts. What are we doing from the Board of Public Works standpoint, overseeing these day-to-day operations, seeing where we need some strengths, I would have to say, look at maybe bringing the labor foreman in to help guide her, especially when you get in, you got a water leak, you got a dig going, and don't get me wrong, Cindy, your folks are doing okay, but it does help to have an attractive salary there or within, to always promote within if the capability, but that line item's there just in case you find the right person to assist out there. Again, just my overlook. The other thing is on the police department, and when you go through there and you look at all those things, what can we do? We can't break the bank, obviously, but we have to look at incentives. Number one thing I look at, we have longevity in the police department. Longevity. We had a sergeant and a corporal rank at that time. Police department average strength was about that same, but the reserve force was higher, I'd say, because your corporal was over your reserves. So the corporal got to spend a little bit more time. Obviously, he had to earn that position, and he understood that we need reserves. So that maintains some longevity in the police department. When we go back and look at the salary ordinances, we had some rank structure. Right now we have a lieutenant. So do we want to add corporal or sergeant or be approved to amending that? I think the chief been appointed to that position. One of the things is to look at what can he do and bring to the council to bring in. Obviously, finances is hard. The other thing is you look on there, there's bonuses. Now, the attorney's here tonight, and I'm glad, because as these rotations are going through, one thing the Senate bill was passed was on reimbursement. So if the city of Clinton was, and you have to be cautious on this, especially the hiring, as the hiring process goes to fill vacancies, is this guy coming from the academy? If he is, we're obligated, if he's under 3 years of service, to pay that and reimburse that town for his educational for the academy. Vice versa, if we lose an officer to another agency, and it's just not police department, it's all agency, we can get it reimbursed for the money we have spent. So the Senate did a really good job getting that bill passed. So we really got to track that, kind of watch that in the hiring process. Sometimes it costs us, a little money to send somebody to the academy, and maybe it's better to get one. Well, you can't throw that in your hiring process. You can't just say, well, the stipulation is this. You're discriminating a little bit on that. So yeah, we have to be very careful what we're doing. And so I'm just saying on this ordinance, just remember, it can be amended. I'd like to see the chief to look out at some of those things. Bonus for educational level. It's a bonus every year. Let's face it, your salary is $37,000. You go get a master's degree, and fortunately, you do get officers with masters, you get officers with bachelors, and you get officers with associates. I believe we've had the bachelors and several of those. What you do is you give them that bonus, that's an educational bonus, paid yearly, and that is to recognize and help pay for that education to that officer. On the flip side, it costs you to send them to the academy still. But it's one way somebody look out there and go, I racked it up at St. Vincent's, or I went to ICU and they got criminology, I racked up. This salary ain't gonna do it. Whoa, we got a little bonus at least to compete with other agencies. And so look at that and the sign-on bonus. $2,500 of the time of appointment, $2,500 after completion of the academy. I think we just need to be prepared to amend the salary ordinance to build strength. The last thing I'll talk about is the police technician. Technician, technically, when you read it by definition, it's a probationary officer that's manning the desk, doing office work, dispatching, whatever. So you got him. He doesn't. He's not under that requirement that I know of to go to the academy right away. He doesn't have that situation where he has to get to the academy within a year. until you bring him on, you name him police technician. When you're ready to fill a vacancy, then you would be a probationary officer. So you've got one sitting there running the desk, learning the ropes, and you fill them out really quick. And then because he's a police technician, then when you have that vacancy, like we could have 2 on the books hiring, appointed, and then we lose another one, well, then we're back into the recycle, going back through all the applicants and interviewing them, where you pull your police technician. That's an inevitable employment for people who are desiring to go into law enforcement. Because the only other offer you have is the reserve. So what does the reserve get? Clothing allowance. And let's face it, it's a big thing across, I would say, the United States, but definitely in the state of Indiana when you look at unemployment under Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, all the hiring that they're doing. So that's just something I hope the council will look at. If the department heads decide to come forward and say, I'd like to amend the salary ordinance and add this to it. The budgets and things that, yes, it has to come somewhere within that budget, but some of that stuff could come out of the public safety tax. So I think we have some room there to look at and be just open-minded if we pass this salary ordinance, and to ensure that the department heads have something to sit down with their departments and come up with ideas to amend so they can keep their departments filled. That's all I have.
Yeah, the state was finally good on that. What was it, Scott? 20 years ago, we talked about the academy and the expense we were going through and losing officers. And as soon as they graduated, they went to ISU or they went to somebody else. And there was no way back then to recoup it. We even asked the state, why isn't there a provision to get our money back? And finally, they decided that I think everybody in the state was having the problem. You know, we couldn't pay enough. They go to the next one, and we paid that expense. And
There's a much bigger demand right now than
Yeah.
there is supply.
yeah, ISU is short 6.
It's an arms race, and we don't have direct weapons.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I had two things I was going to say. One is that I haven't got it prepared yet, but last year the city council did approve bonuses for all employees payable in June and December of this year. So employees who are here in December are going to get a bonus based on their number of years of service. It was 225 total for the year, per year of service. If you started that year, you got the bonus. So those employees who are still here on the first pay of December, I think, will get $112 times years of service. We're going to propose doing something similar next year, using ARPA money to do that, to give people a little extra. Those bonuses are, because they're coming out of ARPA, they're probably not necessarily something we can continue to do in perpetuity, but we can do them in the short term to help get additional compensation to the employees. The other thing, with only 3 council members here tonight, we actually cannot adopt something in one reading because it takes 2/3 of the council to unanimous consent to suspend the rules, and 2/3, and 3 of you are not 2/3. I did the math again, but it's been a while since I did fractions. But so we're either going to have a special meeting next week. Now, the state statute says we're supposed to adopt these by the end of October. I found that out last December when we were adopting these, because I didn't know it had changed. So it's not like the code police are going to come arrest us or something, but we cannot adopt in one read tonight, unfortunately. So we'll have to do this first read on these ordinances tonight. The budget was fine, because we did do a first read on it. The sewer stuff, we were going to do 2 reads on it anyway, but these 2 salary ones, we'll have to, whatever you guys want to do as far as the special meeting, or just do it in November and see if the code police have any issues with it.
It's up to you guys. Monday the 28th. have a meeting to do second adoption on this?
Yeah,
That'll work.
hopefully
Yeah.
the other council person.
If only 3 of you can be at that meeting, it's okay, because it'd be a second read, but obviously, if,
Yeah, you
all
can't
5
suspend the
can be there.
rules, yeah, you have to,
We can s- yeah, it still takes 2/3 of the members to adopt it in one read, so.
The 28th, Monday the 28th, you want to do it at 6 o'clock? Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Monday I should be in early, yeah.
And we might that might give us a chance to get this one spot that we know is correct.
Okay.
And then we could amend that, pass it
Yeah.
and amend it and because after you pass it, you can amend it only
Yeah,
once.
after,
Okay.
yeah. So,
And then you guys are in agreement in the 28th
So I got the first motion on the floor.
at 6 o'clock.
Right.
You got it first.
We got the second, the first reading of the salary ordinance for employees.
Okay, I got first and second to have a special meeting on Monday, the 28th at 6 p.m. in council chambers to do the second read on ordinance 10-2024-2. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Pepperoni,
Yes.
Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Okay,
We
yeah, motion to,
did the first read, did we?
yeah.
We passed the first reading.
I made the motion on the first reading.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think we run the roll.
We
call
haven't
vote.
done we hadn't had a second yet in the vote.
So I do have a motion from Chuck, who seconded it,
I did.
Bob seconded, to pass the first read on ordinance 10-2024-2. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Pepperoni,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
Okay, next we have ordinance 10-2024-3, fixing compensation of elected officials in 2025. Be it ordained by the common council of the city of Clinton, Indiana, that the salary of the mayor of the city of Clinton shall be the sum of $39,754.54 per year. Said sum shall be divided equally among the general fund, the sewer utility, and the water utility. Number 2, the salary of the clerk treasurer of the city of Clinton shall be the sum of $43,493.78 per year. Said sum shall be divided equally among the general fund, the sewer utility, and the water utility. 3, the salary of the city judge shall be the sum of $10,069.62 per year. 4, the salary of the members of the common council of the city of Clinton, Indiana shall be the sum of $1,739.26 per year. Said sum shall be divided equally among the general fund, sewer utility, and the water utility. This ordinance shall take full force and effect on January 1st, 2025. It passed the first read this evening of October 22nd, 2024. We can also, we'll have to do a second
that
read on
second
this
reading,
same night, Monday.
So we'll have to, that's another typo, you see that's not.
no.
It says pass on first reading.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to, yeah.
And
yeah.
then day of December 2024.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'll fire somebody when I get back to you.
Okay, that's okay.
So,
Don't do that.
we will go ahead after the first
Keyboard.
read this evening, we get the motion to first read, then we will also add this
To the special
Monday
meeting.
special meeting.
Yep.
And I'll ask you guys for, be able to do that, but first, let's do a motion for a first read and a second on this.
I'll make a motion, we accept the ordinance number
10-2024-3.
10-2024-3.
I'll second it.
I've got a first and second to accept first read on ordinance 10-2024-3, which is fixing compensation of elected officials in 2025. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Pepperoni,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
And now I need a motion from you guys to allow me to bring this to the meeting, special meeting that we're gonna have, so we can do a second read on it,
I'll make the motion that bring it to the next meeting.
okay?
I'll second it for the October 28th special meeting, right?
Yes. Okay, I've got a first and second that we will do a second read on ordinance 10-2024-3 on the 22nd at 6 o'clock. Roll call vote, please.
J.P. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Huckabee,
Yes.
Bob Alexander.
That's correction, 28.
Yeah. Is it
What?
Yeah, the 22nd.
Yeah.
It's 28.
second read?
I thought you
Yeah.
said, I thought you said the comment.
Okay, Bob, you want to do the ordinance 10-2024-4?
Yeah, that's the payment in lieu of taxes.
It'd be the ending stormwater.
Ooh, that's a long one. Okay, let me pull it up.
Okay, you want this?
You want this one?
Yeah, I was using all the attachments. That's,
That makes it a little easier.
okay. Prepared, this is awful long ordinance, so beware of some of my stumbling through this, but I will do my best to get through a lot of this. Ordinance 10-2024-4, amending stormwater department user fee and sewer rates. Whereas the city has determined it is necessary to adjust the rates charged for services of the stormwater and sewer departments due to increased costs for equipment and materials, and to fund an upcoming combined sewer overflow project. For all that's CSO is that reference. Be it therefore ordained by the Clinton City Council that the City of Clinton, Indiana Code of Ordinances, Section 51.133 is amended and set forth below. The City of Clinton, Indiana Code of Ordinances 51-133, titled Schedule of Rates, Section 51.133. The Stormwater Department user fee shall be $12.67 and shall become effective on the utility bills distributed in January of 2025. Each user with a service meter shall be charged. Second, the City of Clinton, Indiana Code of Ordinances, Section 52.30, parentheses A, parentheses 4, is amended as set forth below. The City of Clinton, Indiana Code of Ordinances 52.30, the title Rates and Charges for Use of Service Established. Section 52.30, A, monthly rates. There shall be and there are hereby established for the use in the service rendered by the waterworks system of the city in the following rates and charges based on the use of water supplied by said waterworks system. 4. Sewer rates. The following rates are hereby fixed for sewage service and shall be based on a customer's monthly water usage as determined by water meter readings. Said rates shall be charged to users and owners of any lot, parcel of the real estate, building, or improvement that is connected with or uses the sewage works of the city and that any way is served or benefited by the sewage works. Base charge per month. Each customer shall be charged a base charge each month that service is provided in the following amounts as determined by water meter size. So your base monthly charge, monthly minimum, meter size by inch, 5/8 inch, your base charge will be $22.66. If you have a 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch meter, it's $27.39 base charge. Meter size of 1 inch, your base charge is $40.12. Your meter size of 1.5 inches, it's $77.21 for base charge. Meter size of a 2 inch, your base charge is $127.04. Your meter size of 3-inch, your base charge is $277.79. Excuse me. Meter size of a 4-inch, your base charge is $474.86. And if you have a meter that's a 6-inch, your base charge is $1,066.13. Paragraph B, consumption per month. In addition to the base monthly fee established by Division A4A, each user shall be also charged a monthly fee based on water consumption as determined by the water meter readings. The consumption charge shall be billed in 100-gallon increments. A consumption charge per 1,000 gallons is $13.28 per 1,000 gallons. So if I use 1,000 gallons, it's $13.28. For example, unmetered monthly rate, flat rate. Any customer without water meters shall be charged a flat amount each month in amount described below. If you're residential, you will be charged a flat rate of $59.89. If you're unmetered and it's a commercial property, then it's $565.11 flat rate. Paragraph 2, all ordinances or parts of the ordinances in conflict with the ordinance are hereby repealed. This ordinance shall become effective with January of 2025 utility bills for the previous month's service period. So it'll become effective on January 2025 on the utility bills for the previous month's service period. Passed on initial reading the 22nd day of October 2024. And then it'll be passed on the second reading after the notice of a public hearing, and that day will be 19th of November. So we won't pass the second reading until we have the public hearing, then we'll close and go into the second reading. I believe there's one more page. Nope.
Mayor, could I
Yes.
explain a little bit to the council? So this is 15% increase, flat, which wasn't as bad as what I thought it might be, because we had increased the rates in 2022 in anticipation of this project. But bids came in quite a bit higher than the estimates, and we also had to buy a back truck. So I was concerned that it might be worse than this. The 15% assumes that we're not going to get any more grant money than we're already getting. But there is still a possibility, we have been told by SRF that there is still some possibility of getting some additional grant money. If we've been pressing them for an answer. We had a conference call last week. As of yesterday, they still didn't have an answer for us, so we had to run with what we had. But there's two potential grants that are out there. One is actually, they don't call them earmarks anymore. They're called congressionally directed spending. So, if that makes you feel any better about it. But Senator Young's office has put in for some money for us for this project, but we need it to come through pretty quick. So there's a possibility that we'll come to you next month with an amendment to this ordinance that would bring this down. But we have to start this high, on the high side, because if we go low and then we have to increase it, we have to go through this two-step process with notice, public hearing, and all that. So we wanted to err on the side of high, which it may end up being what we need. But there is a possibility if we do get these grants that this would go down a bit. So I'll let you know as soon as we know something that we don't know as of today.
And this project is a project that's mandated by the state of Indiana.
Yeah, it's basically Clean Water Act.
Yeah.
So it's been 50 years, so they're finally starting to enforce
Is this phase 5 or 6 that we've
This
been
is
doing?
phase 3 and 4A. There's one more phase after
For
this.
this,
It's not
the holding tank. Right.
That's it. This is everything but the tank, basically. And I'm sure there's some other stuff, small stuff, but that is 3 years out, something like that.
Yeah.
So this should carry us through until then, at which point I'm sure we'll have to raise rates again and borrow money again. So we did get some grant money towards this. We will probably have to come to you next month with a slight amendment to the bond resolution to authorize us to borrow a little bit more because the bids did come in higher. We are going to need to borrow a little bit more than we anticipated originally. So, but we'll wait and see how much, if any, more grant money we do receive. So,
I'd like to add that, in case the council hadn't, and for the public, hopefully they have a chance. We did get a report from Baker Tilly, who went through all the finances and led us to this 15% recommendation. So it wasn't done by our county or our water office or by the council. It was hard look numbers by Baker Tilly, and there's a pretty substantial report on exactly how they based and came up with that, based on the projects that we have that are mandated, and to fill those obligations, this is what they came up with.
and so this rate they project is enough to pay for our day-to-day operational expenses, which are $900,000 a year, wages, salary. Utilities are heavy down there. It's $150,000 a year just with utilities. Plus, I think there's about $200,000 a year that would go into, which is a lot. I may be high, but it goes into what we call an improvement fund, depreciation fund. That is to when pumps break, stuff needs repaired. We've got cash on hand to do that. So, and then enough to pay the debt service, and we're a little over the required debt ratio. It's 125. We have to show revenues in excess of 125%. We're at 135 with this rate. So we should be good for a while until the next project comes down the pipeline, which it's coming, and we'll be eligible for some more Okra grants by then. So your rates, while they're certainly getting higher, I was telling somebody, I don't know how many meetings I've been to this year. There's one going on in Dana right now that I should be at, where they're going to have to increase sewer rates 50%.
Montezuma.
Montezuma's got a water rate increase that's massive coming down the pipeline, and then they got a sewer rate increase behind that that's coming.
Substantially high. That's
Newport, Dana have big sewer rate increases.
Well, plus all this, we still got unknown electrical costs that are coming.
Well, that's true. Utilities are a big part of what's spitting out that plant. They have tried to factor some of those growths in. But I will tell you, the difference is we're raising rates. We're doing a big project. We're doing a $9 million project, construction, just in construction. These other places are just raising, well, Montezuma's raising rates because they have to do a project. But Dana and Newport, they don't.
Their daily expenses.
They don't have enough money to make their bond payments. They bounce checks, so it's worse.
Well, in the Board of Works meeting, I kind of brought out, you can see that the cost is substantially increasing in the water world and in these sewer pumps that we have always working on down the sewer plant. If you look at just a meter 10 years ago today, it's higher, but the demand of getting that thing is a very, very long wait to get these meters in. And then everything has increased, and it's not like we go out and do anything with the utilities. The only thing we do with the utilities on the operating side, even though it's not governed by a budget, we have a budget. We did that so we could see how far we are at coming in at the end of the year. And when you really scrutinize the water side and the sewer side, everything's due to a repair or a fix. That's where our cost is at. It's not really your salaries. it is the operations of manning the water system out there in the sewer plant. And obviously, Scott, you deal with a lot. You're seeing leaks every time you just think you got it going, another one pops up. And I hope everybody reads your reports and they can see. You know, it's understandable the cost of just the piping, the meters, meter bases, anything that breaks in the field. Sewer plant, I don't even want to talk about that because that's a lot of machinery down there, and anytime it's moving 24/7, has a tendency to break, and it's very expensive to fix. So,
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance 10-2024-4.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second to pass ordinance 10-2024-4, amending stormwater rates. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Puckaroni,
Yes.
and Bob Alexander.
Yes.
The last item on the agenda is a resolution accepting payment in lieu of tax as a pilot. In the previous meeting, the Board of Works authorized to give that money to the council. Now, you guys have to accept it in a resolution. You want to read that, Chad?
Accepting payment in lieu of taxes. Hereas Indiana Code 8-1.5-3-8, parentheses G, authorize the municipal body, legislative body to elect to charge municipally owned utilities and amounts significant compensation that the municipal for taxes that would be due the municipality or utility property if utility was privately owned. Hereas the city financial consultants, Baker Tilly, has conducted a study to determine the appropriate amount to charge the city water and wastewater utilities for a payment in lieu of taxes, PILOT. Whereas the city now desires to establish and approve a plot for the year 2025 at the amount of 4% higher than the 2024, and with said amounts to be transferred on a monthly basis as set forth herein, and whereas the city further desires to establish and approve the civil funds of the city, which shall be the recipient of the monthly plot from each utility. Be it therefore resolved as follows. 1. The payment in lieu of taxes shall be made to the city of Clinton on behalf of the city of water and wastewater utilities for the year 24 in the following monthly amounts. 2024 water, full year, $66,487.32. Monthly, January through December 2024, $5,540.61. 2024 sewer, full year, $91,804.54. Monthly, January through December 2024, $7,650.38. Said funds shall be deposited in the city's general fund monthly. Passed in open meeting. It passed in open meeting the 22nd day of October 2024.
So this is, okay.
I should have said 25 on there. Seeing it now. There's a couple spots where it should have been changed to 2025.
Oh, the monthly paid January through,
Yeah, and then it says 2024 full year. I didn't fix the stuff in that box,
okay.
so.
This is only the one reading or
Well,
two
we can
readings?
bring it, I'll fix it and bring it next meeting for you, I'm sorry.
So it's 4% higher than last year.
It went up by the growth, that's the same 4% growth quotient the state said our levy could go up, so we keep it whatever the state growth quotient is, we increase the pilot every year by the same amount. That's just how we've been doing it since we got the baseline numbers from Baker Tilly years ago. Helps a lot, because if it weren't for that, man, that's $150,000 a year coming into general fund, that helps pay for what we spend in general fund.
Need a motion?
Yeah. To accept that.
Mm-hmm. Say it, you need a motion.
We need a mo, I thought you said.
No,
you needed-
I told you, you need to say
Yeah,
it, you
we
need a motion.
to accept, resolution
2024-6.
That's 6.
yeah,
That's 6.
payment in lieu of taxes.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, I got a second from Bob. Got a first and second to accept resolution 2024-6 concerning a pilot. Roll call vote, please.
J.T. Walker,
Yes.
Chuck Bookerang.
Yes.
And Bob Alexander.
Yes.
You need this one signed,
Well, Scott's gonna.
because you're gonna amend
You're
it.
I'll get you a new one
Yeah.
for the next, I mean, I don't think we can reread it at the next meeting, it's just a typo. I'll just bring you send you a new one
Okay.
to get signed.
Then we can just
I
sign it.
apologize.
We can just sign it if it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same numbers, it's just the date is
Okay.
incorrect. I'm sending myself an email right now.
I'm making a note here too, so.
Only 24-6.
Now, on it being a special meeting, we're not gonna do the pilot Monday, because there's really not necessary. We don't pay until,
I think, Jeff, you just want to sign it while you're in the meeting on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just
Okay.
get you corrected when
And that
it's
was
signed.
the budget. Did you get it signed?
this one right here's the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nancy will need that to.
Send that in so we get our money.
All right then. Okay then, gentlemen, you want me to send you all a email to remind you tomorrow about the meeting on the 28th?
Put it on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll send it out to everybody.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
2/3 and 2/3. No, we don't have to have 2/3.
No.
Just
Three.
quorum.
Yeah,
Quorum.
just 3 of us, because we already did the first.
That's right.
All right. If there's nothing else, gentlemen, I need a motion to adjourn.
Hey, Jack,
Yes.
can I say something?
Yes.
So, I announced this in the Work Life Work meeting also, just in case everybody's still in here, so that too. We did lose 2 officers. They were, one was the 20th was effective, one was the 25th. So, with that being said, we're gonna do a hiring process. My plan is to get it started next Monday. I keep looking at the calendar, September, so
Now you're off the month.
it's off a month, so. Get it started on Monday, try to open it up for a month, see how many we get, and go that route. We are possibly losing a third one maybe, depending on how another process goes. With that being said, we do spend roughly $6,000 in, equipping the officer and sending to the academy. So, I think we either look into a way to help offset that from my budget, because that's a hefty little hit on the budget. I don't know if we got some money in public safety we could use to help offset that or not. I know you guys deal with a lot of the budgeting and stuff that we can kind of look at. I know it's been kind of late for next year, but we can figure out some way of doing this. But everybody, the 2 that have left for more money, and now possibly a third one for that season too. So it's just something that's, And we can figure out a way to help offset this, but I know with the fundings is, the state gives us so much money and we can only do so much, but it's just hard to keep our guys. As of right now, I only have, my senior officer has, I think, 11 years. And as of the 25th, my second one will have, you got 3 years? Yeah, 3 years, and I got 3 with just over a year now. So,
And I believe where our gentleman went to, our officers, the reason that the people, they had the openings was people left there for more money. Yeah,
it's either that or one, I think one retired.
but, so it's not just us,
It's everywhere.
everywhere.
It's everywhere, especially the smaller cities like we are.
Mhm.
It's a constant all over the state because people look at the pay with inflation and everything, and just all these guys want to go to different departments.
ISU's had the same problem. They're losing them to the sheriff's department. You know, everybody's losing to some other department for more money.
And then
So,
some of them are
yeah.
going to state police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where 2 of the sheriff's guys went to the state police. 3 of the ISU guys went there. Did you lose any? They went to ISU. You know, that's where it's been. Everybody moves up the ladder to another department, so.
Well, when I started my career back in 2006, I went through IMPD's process, the state police process, and I was one of 1,200 for the state police process. Right now, state police is getting maybe 200 to apply for their jobs. So
And didn't they raise their pay to 70 a year? Is that right? Ben?
I want to say that or more.
They're more.
Yes, it's-
They're
it's a lot.
they're almost 100 now.
If you were to outfit $50,000 of the average that's going on in the departments, and that's the average in the state of Indiana, I can only compare what's listed on the ILEA site, it's 50,000 for officer. So that's a $400,000 just in salary. That's not counting all the other things that go with it. So,
It's so bad out there, the city of Rising Sun just closed their police department and turned it back over to the county due to the fact, and they've got a riverboat, due to the fact they didn't have enough money to pay the help because the wage is so high due to the riverboat, and it was just not feasible. They couldn't keep enough help, which is sad to say that a city had to do that.
Right. So, like I said, I just come to you guys, I've talked to Jack about it, I kind of mentioned to Scott before, but it was kind of like in a brief, about trying to figure out where we can come up with some money to help offset
It's
this.
hard.
Yeah, I
And
think-
now with the academy, we have to pay, plus we have to buy the ammunition, and effective, I think there's this class, they have to use our cars to do EVO with. If we do not let them use our car, we have to pay $2,500
To use their car.
to use their cars.
Yep.
So now we have the additional wear and tear on
We
that
can-
car. So,
We can definitely put some money in the budget somewhere. It's too late to do it for what we already have, it's already approved, but we can either do an additional appropriation or move some money around within some existing budgets to set aside money to pay for those upfront costs, so it doesn't end up coming out of supplies in his budget, because he doesn't, we had to,
For next year, we're gonna have to create a new line item just for that, and then,
probably in public safety.
and we can move it accordingly, yeah.
So,
Education.
but that's,
Now, you've helped at the academy teach that EVO class.
right.
How long is it, how many weeks is that? Just,
So EVO is now, this year, this class, no, the class that Jeremy just graduated, so the class before, they changed how they do EVO, or all skills. It was 1 week, you did EVO 1 week, you did firearms 1 week, you did defensive tactics 1 week, and you did stops and SFSTs. the class that just graduated and the way they're starting to do it now, Monday, A squad does firearms, B squad does Evo, C squad does defensive tactics, and SFSTs. Then Tuesday, if you did firearms that day, now you do Evo. And then the next day you do another one, and the next day you do another one. And the next Friday you do another one. Then you go a week back to the classroom. Then you do another week of breakout. And then, I don't know, sometimes they do it 2 weeks of breakout back to back. Sometimes they skip 2 weeks and then do another breakout week. So you're spending a whole week doing it, but it's broke up into
Days.
now. And again, the academy is having problems getting instructors to come over. They emailed me numerous times, hey, we need help, we need help. And it's just, with the way things are nowadays, it's hard for us as instructors to go back over there, but it also helps us because we sent a wall to instructor development school, but we didn't have to pay for it because when I go over, I use department credit. So our department credit paid for him to go to instructor development school. So, and then we've also rented the track twice and didn't have to pay for it because the times that me and Lieutenant Wall went and taught at the academy, we both used it as accruing hours. We just use our hours to rent the track to do our Evo work. So it's just, like you said, it's a revolving door here. I wish it wasn't. I wish we could do something to stop it. But when the state only allows us X amount of dollars, I understand, but it's hard for me to keep finding great help and keep them here.
How's our reserve pool? Did we
Slim.
complete it?
Slim.
Because we were just picking right from the reserve pool.
We've got 2 that's on their own. We got 3 that's still writing with others to become on their own. But it's slim pickings.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. They're lowering their standards in a way on the employment too.
And the other thing that hurts us is you have to hire anybody under the age of
32.
35, it used to be 35.
I think it's 40 now. I think
It's 40 years.
40 and under, so we have to, now we get hurt by that also. So,
We appreciate it.
Got your work cut out.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, the city of Rising Sun, they hated to do it, but they had the same problem. They're paying more at the casino for security than what they could afford in their budget, even with the money they get from the riverboat to have officers. I mean, they got down to 3.
yeah.
And finally just decided that we're doing away with it. And the county hated it because now they have to cover the city along with everything else. So it's everywhere. So, and we've had this problem for years. This has been an ongoing battle in the city of Clinton forever. Scott knows that. We've always never had enough funding.
No.
Go to the state. They need to go over.
Well, the state wants to worry about themselves and not the
I know.
small people.
I know. That's another issue.
That actually do stuff, and so.
All right, guys, if no one else has anything, motion?
Motion.
Adjourn.
Yeah, it's bad. When Rising Sun did that, it was like, you're kidding me. He said, no, we have to